So let me ask something a little bit lighter here. I don't know if you have in Overstrand, Hermanus, an app, but I need help with something, Clinton. I've been coming to Hermanus for 26 years, and I've been coming a couple times a year for the past several years. You know that because I like to come here.
Yes.
We're at Misty Waves right now. I like to come here. It's a lovely spot. It's not an endorsement. I guess it is an endorsement. It's a great hotel. Misty Waves Boutique Hotel. But I've been coming here for a while and been very well received by the staff here. I really enjoy it. It's beautiful. But where the hell are the whales? Every time I come to Hermanus, there's no whales. I mean, the sardines are running. Come here. No, they're not. It doesn't matter if I come in January, February, July, September, December. It's like someone sends a sonar message to the whales and says, the Colonel's back in town. Everybody go to Pringle Bay. Go to Pringle. Go to Betty's Bay. Honestly, I need an app so someone can tell me when the whales are here, because I've only ever seen the tail fin of one whale. I stand down there for hours. I like an idiot looking for whales. I'd be like, what are you doing? I'm looking for whales. Oh, they're not here this time of year. Anyway, but seriously, that's a big attraction.
Look, we've got multiple attractions. We've got some of the best vineyards and wine routes in the world here. Follow our wine route up in the Yamada Valley.
Better than Franschhoek.
Better than Franschhoek. I'm willing to say that because look at the accolades.
I'll ask their mayoral candidate.
Look at the accolades on that single stretch of road. All the wine farms that are there and that. I mean, sharks, whales, the marine big five.
You can keep the sharks.
The penguins.
I'm a Stormers fan, so you keep the sharks.
In Betty's Bay, we've got penguins that.
Oh, I know.
That
they
rally,
crap everywhere.
that rally, or even is better to a degree because it's less.
It's less congested.
It's less congested.
And less people come because they don't realize it. But they all go to Simonstown.
That's it.
Yeah, and then the poor penguins are like assaulted by thousands of tourists.
There's more tourists than penguins. At Betty's Bay, you'll find more penguins than tourists.
I know. I hung out with them.
But apart from that, whales. Now, Wales is unique to, if you want to say it, Hermanus, it's been branded that way. But if you look at our whole coastline, the Kelders and other areas, you can see Wales. So maybe take a bit of a day trip if you're in the area. I think you've just been very unfortunate. Yeah. There's been increasing numbers in whale activity. I think it's a conspiracy. I don't. I think it's a maritime conspiracy. But seriously, I'll figure it out. You're not from the population that hunts whales, so I don't think that's the case. I don't think they're hiding because of that.
I don't think that's the reason. But I'll tell you what. I'll ask your wife for her number. I'll bet she'll let me know when the whales are here.
You're gladly to do. My wife is accessible, and my wife is going to be part of my mayoral team. I mean, I'm not a single person. I'm a family unit. We'll be moving as a family unit. I'm going to bring back.
You're not putting your kids in local government, are you?
No, but my kids are active. In fact, the joke is my kids, after they heard I'm the mayor, after the mayoral candidate, wanted to have a meeting because they had a meeting at school. And I go, oh, really? You had a meeting at school? Because there's an expectancy from the kids. And I mean, it's 8 years. It's actually funny that 8-year-olds are participating. And they're telling me what the parents are talking about me and the policies in the class. And I'm going, oh, that's interesting. So I said, so what's your summary of what did your kids say? And they said, Dad, we really, really need to push you to try and have a water park in the greater Hermanus area. So did
they miss the ocean right here? No, I get it, but it's just ironic.
But it's funny how that's filtered through. And I mean, as I said, that's part and parcel of why I'm standing up, is because those are the legacy. That's the future. If I'm not working towards the future, then there will not be a future. And I'm not an individual. It's a community that needs to work that way. So at some stage, I'm going to sit down with the schools and the classes and also say to me, what do you want? Because I've asked people on my Facebook, what do you want me to address? And I've gotten letters from kids saying to me, why don't you change the name of the town to this character or this? It's little letters from 8-year-olds and 6. It's quite cute. But again, I must be the mayor for all, but within what I can do. So the expectation is quite big, actually, from various segments of our society.
That's all your different constituencies, including primary school students. Look, I mean, that's a fair point, Clint, because kids see things differently.
Yes.
And, adults are focused on delivering services, as you talk about, but there's needs for kids, parks, places to play, where they can go and things. I don't know about a water park. I'm not hip on that.
But our demographic with all the schools we've got now is definitely moving also into a younger demographic. Sure. So I've got to take into consideration, maybe how much entertainment is there in the greater Hermanus area for the youth? It's not enough. There's ample scope.
It's really geared because of the business development towards tourism.
Yes,
and
but
that's not really focused on
but
kids.
there's one or two smaller businesses that cater for the children, and I think they do fairly well. There's business opportunity in that. I mean, look at us. When we travel, when me and my wife travel, we travel with the kids. So we're also looking at what can the kids do, and that dictates where we're going. Kids are actually a big driving force in what parents do. It's not the other way around.
Oh, no, I get that. But I mean, sometimes people in the business world don't focus on that. They miss that. They miss the obvious. The guy the Danish guy who started Lego didn't miss that.
No, he didn't.
And look at Lego
well
today.
done.
All right, so before we wrap up, I've got to let the cat out of the bag. Some of my viewers saw last year that I was I don't know, how do I say this? I was forced or shamed or just offered a chance to fly. And that was because of Clinton. So last year at the desk here, when I was here with Misty Waves, they said, so Clinton has set up an opportunity for you to go do the longest zip line in the world. I said, where's that at? Because I didn't know. I mean, I know about Mahalisburg, and I know about Mossel Bay, I know about Ceres because I've done a few of those. But what happened is they said, go do it. And I said, okay. So I drove the Caledon. That is the longest zip line in the world. Now, I've got to tell you, Clint, when I got up there and they put the GoPro on, and I'm not afraid of heights, but I had a little bit of trepidation when I got up on there. But the good news is I saw all the snaplings and all the redundancies that I'm not going to fall. And then the guy said, I said, how long does it take? He says, well, it's about 3.5, 4 minutes, depending on your weight. And I'm not exactly huge. But I am tall and aerodynamic, apparently. And I feel cheated because it only took me 2 minutes and 30 seconds to get to the bottom.
Oh, well. Yeah, look, I am somebody who thinks out of the box. I've my friend who's a good engineer of mine, because I designed these things and he needs to put it on paper. When I phone him, he says, Clinton, what's next? So I've got 8 of these types of businesses around South Africa. I've got a massive team building and events company. My wife's also a corporate events person. So when I developed that, it was Chris, it's actually quite a long story, because I believe from listening, having that little guy on your shoulder and sometimes talking to you. And I've had
You don't have him on both shoulders, do you?
No, not
one bad?
No,
just the one.
I luckily only have the good guy on my shoulder. And being open and being open to receiving messages.
Sure.
So I was going to build that exact zipline in a different place. And I had a final meeting with the farmers and the people that I discussed with. And I just had this eerie feeling, and I phoned my wife and said, I've just got this feeling that my whole planning there's something holding me back. And I'm driving past Caledon. It's an hour out of Cape Town, 20 minutes from my home. And all of a sudden, at the top of this mountain, a light shined in my eyes. From one singular solar panel shine into my eyes, and I went, whoa, what's that?
Oh, this was a real light, not some divine intervention.
No, but I do believe it's divine intervention.
Okay, well, maybe it was.
I'm very open to those.
Okay.
And as I pulled to the side, the farmer came driving out. Out of this massive mountain, the farmer came driving out. And I said to him, can I go and have a look? And he said to me, you're more than welcome to take a 4x4, because it's 7 kilometers up in the mountain. You need a 4x4, to get there.
It took like an hour and 45 minutes to get up there and 3 minutes to get down.
And I drove up, had a look, and I said to my wife, this is the place. And everything fell in place. I'm very fortunate in my life. If you're open to ideas and open to suggestions and open to criticism, things fall into place. So I'm over the moon about that product. It's 3.2 kilometers. It beats the Saudis by 500 meters. And there's not a lot of things in South Africa beat the Saudis about.
I've heard rumor, I don't know if there's any truth to this, that spies came to check out your
correct
from other countries.
There has been spies from other countries who come and try and see, but we've got an ace up our sleeve. That same property, if I move a couple of things, I can do a 5 kilometers. So they will need
well, maybe I'll give the 3 minutes with a 5 kilometer one.
But no, thank you very much for your support on that. I think it's fun. We get a lot of famous people going there. It is a really phenomenal product. I'm over the moon.
It's amazing.
I would drive out of Cape Town, back into Cape Town. But my best product is in Cape Town itself, which is, I think, ranked number 7th on TripAdvisor as an adventure activity in the world. So
and that is?
It's also a zip line at the back of Table Mountain, but it's a tour. There's 7 cables there.
Okay. I haven't done that. Okay.
It's a phenomenal thing. And I must just say, if it wasn't for my staff, because I think if your businesses, such as the municipality, which I'm trying to entrench, and your businesses isn't based on staff that have the core values of the owner and you're going to sit with failure. You're going to sit with a problem. And luckily, I've got that staff component that can just manage it. I can't remember when last I was on a zip line. Maybe a year and a half ago.
Oh, I remember when I was a year ago for 2.5 minutes. But it made it for a great video. I added that song of mine, Save South Africa.
Yes, you did.
It came out really cool. Look, you mentioned famous people going to the zip line, and once again, it's like the damn whales. I was there the day after the Stormers were there.
Yeah, and
they all signed the board. I missed it by a day.
And a lot of them are Springboks. Sasha signed the board. Yeah. There's a lot of Springboks that have been there.
I signed the board the day after them, but I didn't tell anybody that. I pretended like I signed it the same day.
A lot of famous Hollywood, a lot of famous Bollywood stars.
Well, Bollywood I care about. You can have Hollywood.
India is a big market of my business.
Really?
Yeah, I've been in the Indian market for 14 years. I travel to India. I do a bit of business in China as well. We've just come back from a show in Shanghai, a big tourism show. Those are markets that I also target. I get quite a bit of Americans. It's one of my largest markets, especially this time of year. You're traveling this time of year. Great time to travel, but Europeans as well. So my company itself caters really for everybody. And we know I've always designed these products as a adventure product for the guy that has that couple of days as a holiday, that sits in front of his computer, that wants to do something, and really needs that adrenaline punch and go, wow, that was the highlight of my holiday.
Well, I mean, it pans out that way. The things I've seen that come out very well. You talk about the Indian market. The extent of my exposure to the Indian market is a few hundred shares of American Depository receipts for Mahindra, which was bought back because they took it back off the stock exchange. So I don't have it anymore. But it did well when I had it. And of course, my favorite cuisine is Indian, but that really doesn't invest in Indian.
Mine as well. So yes. Yeah. And when I go to India, I travel like an Indian. I mean, we went, I took my wife onto a public train to the Taj, which was quite a
public train,
which was quite a bit of a culture shock for my wife. Because my wife I think my wife is beautiful. So the fact is that,
well, I'm not going to argue with you.
People ask my wife if she's a Hollywood or a Bollywood star, and the amount of photos I was taken with my wife. At some stage, we were walking past.
You were just Taj, a chopped liver.
Exactly. We were walking past the Taj Mahal. There were a couple of people sitting there, and I said to my wife, "Here's a photo coming. I'm going to be cropped out of it." And as my words dropped, my wife's walking with it, fully dressed, beautifully clothed. 3 men jumped up and took a photo with her, and I can guarantee you, me on this side, I'm not featuring in that photo.
Well, okay, fair enough. But I think you're likely to feature as the next mayor of Overstrand, and it sounds like you've got a good vision for what's going on, and you do have a significant advantage. You will have an outright majority, which is something that Chris Pappas has had, but a very slim majority, which has allowed him to make the changes. Athol Trollip, when he was with the DA in Nelson Mandela Bay, suffered, not himself, from a fractious coalition that the EFF betrayed.
Correct.
And things fell apart. And then within weeks of that government not longer in charge, PE went right back to the mess that it did before he took over. Schwani, same situation. Yes. So there's Brink up there with the DA coalition. I think may be wrong, Action SA, I think may have betrayed that and it fell apart. And then once again, Schwani has challenges. So you will have an outright majority, and that will make life a lot easier. You can simply govern. You don't have to spend half your time looking for the knives coming at your back.
Correct. And do not forget the Helen Zille factor.
Okay.
We are gunning for it. That blue train is coming. I think the rally and the work that's been done is phenomenal. And I think people, the funny thing is, I was at a meeting at Frans Kraal last night, and when people move here, they go, I can't believe that when there's a pothole or when there's a light off, you fix it. I have had a robot outside of my house not working, but the ANC is willing to come and hang an election poster on that same robot that hasn't been working for years. That's how naive some political parties have become. The DA is definitely the rainbow party. And I'm saying this because we also get criticized that by some parties that we're too woke and we're too this. But within our liberalism, there's a space for somebody like me that's conservative, that's got the values, that's got a family unit that's part of it. And I think if you look at the other political parties going up now, building up now, where we've governed, we've been active. We might get criticized, we're wearing a blue shirt now, but the fact is, myself, I've been active for 4 years. My councillors in our area in the Overstrand have been active for 5 years. Yes, we're going into politics. You'll probably see me wear a bit of blue more often, but that's the nature of the game. Don't criticize me. Criticize the guy who's now wearing a first-time political T-shirt coming to knock on your door and thinking he's going to swing your vote. People must really, really be open-minded to the fact of where we govern well.
Well, we'll take this just a little bit longer because you touched on something interesting. When I was in Ghana around 2000, 2001, I think it was the time frame, they had just had historic elections and one party had switched to another. And it was the first time since Jerry Rawlings that people gave up power, without any struggle. And it was huge for Ghana and for West Africa, and it's continued since then. But I drove all over Ghana, and I went from one village, and you saw all the posters for one political party, to the next village. It was a different political party. And it made me wonder, what is democracy to these people? And I'm saying the people that are voting here. What does it mean to them? And we've seen that here in the context of South Africa, where for a lot of people, I don't want to say this the way that offends people, but literally you can buy someone's vote with a T-shirt and a rally just before an election. And that's really sad.
That's unfortunate.
And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that the electorate is not well informed. And maybe that's the problem.
I agree and I disagree with you at the same time. I think.
Okay. I'm open to listening here. Since he's open, I'm going to be open. Go ahead. You're welcome to be wrong.
I think a lot of our movement has been voter education. Voter education is happening because people are seeing the difference. So it's growing naturally.
But you're talking about here.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about in the whole country.
Yeah. Okay. So the whole country. Let's be brutally honest. If we take Tshwane and we take the other metros, which we intend, if our service delivery is correct, I do believe we need multiple terms in order to affect some change.
Oh, I agree.
In some of the larger areas.
Too much damage has been done.
Yeah, but there's quick wins. And if we focus on the quick wins and we start building, that momentum of the snowball will grow. Look at what has happened now with the DA in the GNU. I mean, the alternative to the GNU and the DA being inside there was chaos. It was economic fiscus downfall for the whole country if we weren't involved. And I'm happy to see that we are trying to distance ourselves from where those irrational decisions are not logic for our voters, for our people, for our communities, where it's self-interested and self-vested policies which are not benefiting us. So in the greater scheme of South Africa, I do believe the snowball is going. We need to maintain that momentum, and we need to ensure that we take our communities with us and that they understand where we are heading, short term as well as long term, because a lot of the problems that's been caused under the ANC government are very, very long-term planning that needs to change.
Well, in fact, the ANC government was handed the best function. Now, look, not everybody was serviced properly by the government. Let's be fair about that. Certainly, a majority of the population didn't necessarily get the services that everyone would like, and many people have today. But nonetheless, a functioning university system, a functioning industrial sector, infrastructure that was world class where it was deployed, it inherited all that, and much of that they just rode on their laurels for 2.5 decades. And things haven't been repaired. I mean, the Highlands Water Project was envisioned to be 3 phases.
Correct.
And only the first phase was completed. And it was
look at Medupi.
Well, how many billions is that? And it's still not even fully operational. But the Highlands Water Project, let's be honest, 80% of it was done by the National Party. Yes. The ANC inherited it, and then they cut the ribbon, and now nobody has water in Gauteng because we never went on with it. But now we have American companies that are investing in Lesotho for water projects.
Correct, yes.
So that should be interesting. Well, listen, we could talk for ages, it sounds like, and I don't want to take your whole day up. And I think I have to get the Hans by before people start screaming about me.
Before the whales go. You've got to hit that way before the whales go.
No, they're probably in the Hans by right now. And as I drive around Stanford,
the Caldas Hans by, Pearly Beach, head that way.
Anyway, Clinton, it's a pleasure to see you, and I wish you the best of luck as mayor.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, folks, we'll catch you next time. God bless. Cheers.